my side hustle. I'm out here promoting my side hustle, Rush Enterprise. If you're in the state of New Jersey that need any armed guards or unarmed guards, you could call me up on my business line, which is 973 That's 973-558-4659. Today I got a special guest. He go by the name of Ceddy Nash. We about to bring him up.
Top of the clock, what's struggling with it?
Yo, what up, Ceddy? What's good, man? I'm happy I got you in the building today, man. Hey, yo,
Man, I appreciate it. Sorry for the tardiness, man.
it's all
I thought I
good,
was gonna
man.
be up.
You a
I went to
busy
sleep
man.
at like 3.
Word out, word out. Give the people the MO about you and let them know who you are and what you about.
Who? Say that one more time, sir. Who I am, I'm Ceddy Nash, and what I'm about, honestly, is just having a hell of an opinion on current trending topic news and stuff like that and everything, and essentially making it straight that way. People appreciate my perspectives on a multitude of things, and I don't just make a biased opinion about stuff and everything. I try to remain unbiased, but also sticking to the truth as much as possible in all candor.
Word out. And you do an incredible job like reporting. Like I look at you as a real journalist, man. Like a lot of the information you put out on other cats and I mean it's real hood. And you know what I mean, but you could tell that you're a man of intellect and you know how to express certain topics on certain events that take on within the urban community, man. And I definitely a guy like me definitely appreciate your material, man. Know what I mean?
Nah, I
Um
appreciate that. Appreciate that highly.
Word out. You see, you got the fresh cut, looking
Nah,
fresh like a bar
this
of soap
actually,
over here, man.
nah, it's funny. I actually
But
got my
man, that's
face.
this.
I had
Word
my
out.
face cut like a week ago, man. Like I got my
Oh,
face cut like a week ago. It just
okay,
on
okay,
my
okay.
face, it grow back a little slower, so it's like kind of cool. But then at the same time, I get that weird stage, and I just can't cut it. And it's like, oh damn. So
Word out. Word out. But look fresh, man.
thank you. I
Um,
appreciate it.
my first question for you is, yo, what are your thoughts on drill music? Do you think that it changed the whole genre completely within the hip hop community? And if so, yo, give me the breakdown on that.
You said it's a change it.
Yeah, has it changed like the genre of music within the hip hop community? Like, has it changed the game like completely?
All right. Yeah, it has. The way in which I look at it is kind of natural progression type of thing, where you got your old school rock and roll and everything like that, but then also you got your heavy metal, you got your punk, you got your garage. So it's just always variations, and to keep it authentic, you want essentially drill music because we come from trap and crunk and snap and hyphy and the boom bap and everything like that. So essentially, yeah, it is, and it kind of has to. In order for a business to constantly grow and everything like that, it can't remain dormant and stale. If it does, it will no longer exist. Ergo, Blockbuster. You see what I'm saying? Blockbuster had a chance to buy out Netflix, but it didn't. And then by the time it tried to compete, it was already too late. So
It
you
was too
could either
late. Yeah,
adapt or buy. You get what I mean?
yeah. Well, the first company that actually put out Blockbuster was Redbox. You know what I'm saying? Redbox actually put them out of business. But you're right, Netflix did take over the game because Netflix put Redbox out of business. You know what I'm saying? But yo, you
Well,
totally right about
Netflix
that.
and Redbox, Netflix kind of did the thing where we mail it to you. They were the first ones to do the direct to consumer type of thing. And all you got to
Right,
do is
right.
just send it back or put it in, the red box. I believe they had like a thing on or something like that.
Yeah, or sometimes they even let you purchase the running CD and not have you be obligated to return it back, which I thought that was dope too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the game, within that kind of lane with like Netflix, um, Hulu, and all that, they did put like Hollywood videos out of business and Blockbuster and etc. But the real, the real, the real company that really put Blockbuster out of business was Redbox, though. You know what I mean? and it
Okay.
was definitely a game changer. Um, my next question for you is, yo, what are your thoughts on 6ix9ine getting jumped in South Florida, and do you think he deserved it? And if so, if so, or if not, give me the breakdown on that.
Uh, I ain't really feel no way. I thought it was interesting and everything like that, but it's one of those things where what you say has a lasting effect. And so Big U was one of the ones who said it. He said, man, down the street, down the way, people gonna still always remember you 6ix9ine with the loudmouth talking. And I think what happened is when I put it together and everything, I looked at the World Baseball Classic, and the World Baseball Classic wasn't too far. It's in Miami and everything like that. So, the buddy was riding around in the little Ferrari truck, painted up crazy and everything like that. And so you're openly inviting yourself to BS. If we pretend that this was like a drill rapper that just got beat up in the gym, everybody be like, dang, bro, he should have been moving with security. Like everybody would have made all type of excuses for why he got beat up, but nobody really would have condemned the person. Some people would have been like, man, you should have given him a one-on-one or anything like that. But people, I remember, 6ix9ine actively provoked people. A lot of people he didn't even know. So it's one of those things where you messed up the code. You invited a whole bunch of people. You yourself have jumped people. I watched it at the airport at LAX. So that's all that is retribution. You done put a bounty on people. You done jump people. You done got people hurt. You done got people put in jail for a very long time. Bruh, it gets to the point where chickens come home to roost. I didn't really feel no way about it, but I really didn't care. Like, that's what you get. When you play in that sand, it might be hot, it might be cold, but you're still playing in the sand.
Yeah, that's a fact. You reap what you sow. Now a lot of people think that that was an actual stage. It wasn't even really real. And if so, do you think that it was staged? And if so, right, like, do you think he's trying to become relevant again in the game to stage that act of him getting jumped in South Florida?
I don't think the Latin Kings would operate that way. I'll be honest with you. I don't believe that they would operate that way. The person who essentially went to jail is a high-ranking Latin King member down there in South Florida, especially about the pen. So I really think what happened was they might have felt some type of way, like I said, from the World Baseball Classic. To me, from everything that I gathered behind the scenes, that essentially that's what did it for them. But yeah, man, I don't believe that was staged. You can't fake a kick to the face. It's kind of like one of those things where remember when Tupac got killed and everybody was like, Suge Knight set him up, and it's like, bro, that's pretty stupid. Like you wouldn't have somebody directly come to your car and start firing bullets and trust they aim. You would at least want to, hey, get out the car, at least bare minimum. So for him to essentially get his hair pulled on, bro, he could have been missing spots of his hair to get kicked in the face with a hard amount of force to be kicked in your nose would kill you. So to play a game like that, I just don't see it. And add it, you can't fake the police reports. So you telling me that somebody would risk this basically 20 years in jail just for a viral moment for a couple of dollars, bro, you're not going to trade 20 years of your life for $1 million. That just doesn't make any sense. Mathematically, you could make that in 15 years, even if you was working two jobs. So, nah, I don't think it was staged or anything like that because them kicks was real.
Yeah, I mean, that's the word that's going around, that's circulating within the webs or whatever. But I mean, for me, observing the altercation, with the physical altercation Takashi had with those three guys, it looked like they held back, man. To be real with you, like it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, I think they were sending a message. That's all I think that was, is they were
Yeah,
sending a message. And ultimately, he received that message because he act like he wasn't scared of all that. But I read that police report. That police report, that man told on them people. It's one of those things where when you look at it on the surface, you go, all right, a simple assault, you get that part, that's a year. But it's simple assault and a robbery. That's a little wild. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, conspiracy theorists always exist, though. In all honesty.
Word up, word up. My next question for you is, what 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 led you to become a content creator, and what was your first viral moment within the YouTube game?
What led me to be a quote unquote content creator was money. I remember hearing academics brag that he was making six figures a freaking month off of YouTube and everything like that. I'm like, he's not doing anything special. And then it was like three things. It was him saying that. It was me finding out this weird spot about YouTube and everything like that, and seeing people be disrespectful with death, bro. Like that's something you don't play. So I remember when Triple Beans got killed. When Triple Beans got killed, I seen Hassan Campbell actually say something, but say it so disrespectful. I'm like, yo, my people have crashed out if you say something like that. And then I just remember the third thing, and it could have been the second one. I mean, this next one was actually second. I just got to go look at the time and everything like that. But I remember Dan Pena just said, just F and do it. I remember thinking to myself, man, I had to have this, I had to have that, I had to have everything. Everything got to be set up nicely and perfect and all this stuff. And then I'll jump off the porch. Yeah, all right, cool. And then I'm like, nah, man, just get on the camera and talk. I'm thinking, man, you need a laptop, you need a desktop, you need all this crap. Bro, I don't do any of this on any computer, never have. No freaking laptop, no iPad, no any of that junk. Bro, I do every single thing off of my phone. My first video that I shot was off of this Galaxy 10 right here. This exact phone right here. All I did was turn it, sit it down on something, started talking. But what made me put on the blue bandana when I first originated was I had a cut on my lip that had scabbed up. I'm like, bro, if you talk with this right here on your face, they're going to say, hey, that man got some on his lip. So I put the mask on and everything like that, and it jumped off. The very first video I did was about Casanova two times. So no, I couldn't have been Hassan Campbell. I think I might have just been pissed that Hassan did that. And he just happened to pop my algorithms. But anyways, um, it was Casanova. And I was letting cats know, bro, you can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Now, ultimately, when I did that, the best thing that should have happened was the second video I did. I should have dropped more information on it that I could have gathered, but I didn't know how to, maneuver the way in which I do. It turns out, man, that man actively really didn't even do anything. But once everybody turning on you, and it seemed like, man, somebody might have broke the crates and ran and talked to the judge and stuff like that, you rarely, if ever, have somebody come into a courtroom and say, yeah, we're this, or he did this to me, or we did this together, and you beat it. So I think Buddy already knew that crap, and he just decided to say, you know what, man, I'm gonna tap out and try to see if I can get off on the lesser of the evils, and then go with this one. But yeah, it was that Casanova two times video where it dropped, and then next thing you know, I just go about my day. Then I turn around and like 2, 3 days later, I'm not checking anything. I'm really not, because I'm like, all right, I'll just drop a video a week. Like, I'll just do it that way, man. My whole idea was, man, drop one video and gain one subscriber. I was ready to drop 1,000 freaking videos and just gain one subscriber per. And I was willing to put in that work because my mindset was, if you got 1,000 things to talk about, all you need to do is get one person. It's already got 1 billion users on here. So you ain't really got to do too much. Just stick to it. But it just so happened that first video, and it resonated with people so much because rappers sometimes forget your whole entire existence is for the spotlight. People come when you have the spotlight, when you have the controversies, but also the police is watching too. They don't believe that you're not exactly all this BS that you say. If you say you King Kong, you knocking down buildings, they're gonna be at every single building, and they're gonna be in the jungles just waiting on you.
Yo, that's a fact, man. And yo, do you think some type of miracle that Casanova two times will be able to come home? I
Yeah,
don't
he'll
think
come
so, man.
home.
You think so?
He'll come home. I don't. Unfortunately, when he come home, ain't nobody gonna care about him. He gonna be casting over 2 times, hoping and praying that somebody from the industry can throw him an alley oop, like some money. But bruh, come home and get your CDLs, my guy. Because other than that, I don't see how it is that he could come about and pick right back up. Now, if he ends up getting out within the next 2 to 3 years, yeah, I can kind of see it happening. But some people might judge him, be like, "Man, you ain't learned your lesson if you go around and you still throwing up your signs and everything like that and
Right,
all that
right.
crap."
Yeah. Now I know YouTube is not your only source of income, so do you own like a trucking business? And if so, give us the breakdown on that.
Me and the homie, I was basically managing one and everything like that and driving and all that crap. But right now, shoot, I'm just chilling at home. I'm just chilling. But I'm in the market of getting my own and then starting that one and everything like that because, in all honesty, bro, it is a bunch, and I mean a bunch of money in this trucking industry. I wish a lot more people were able to essentially get all this stuff and then run with it. But unfortunately, you know, we don't know what we don't know, and we have to see certain people do it. But once we see certain people do it, man, it's like I could do it too. It's the Roger Bannister effect, who broke the 5 minute barrier on the mile and everything like that. Like nobody did it before him, but after he did it, man, over 15,000 people have now completed a mile in under 5 minutes, including even teenagers. So it's just one of those I gotta see it to believe it type of things. And on top of that, I gotta come with a little bit of instruction. So people want handouts because they don't want the risk. Risk is everything.
Word out. Now, with Tesla and all that, do you think Tesla is going to change the whole market game for the trucking industry? Because they're saying that they're going to start using automotive trucks to deliver all these foods and whatever material they need to transport throughout the states. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Um, I don't see it, and I'm going to tell you why. The thing, even though it exists now, I'll be completely honest. They done did a run from Boston all the way to Los Angeles in like 2016. They definitely did that. But the thing is they always gonna have to have a person in there. And what ends up happening ultimately is it's that city driving, it's that inside stuff, it's all of this new stuff being built. So one of the things that happens is one of the automated cars had basically ended somebody's life because they didn't have the certain stuff on a map wasn't updated. So the car just willy nilly, boom, hit somebody and everything like that. So essentially, you would have to invest in the United States infrastructure so much and then hope that you literally own that market. That's the only way. Now, can it slowly over the years gradually do it? Yeah, but I think people will kind of push back on it because it's not that there's not enough drivers. That's a lie. That's a big fallacy. The problem with it is a lot of these companies are too cheap, and the lifestyle sometimes is crazy because it's trash, bro. Like to be gone from your family months at a time, weeks at a time. When you come back home, you watching your kid become somebody you don't even know. Eventually, they get older and older and older and older, and they keep on sprouting up. And now you start thinking to yourself, I gotta get out of here. Bro, this little kid, he don't know me. Eventually I'm gonna lose my influence. Where's gonna be the memories? All of these things and stuff like that. So I would say, like make it a young man's game. If I could go back and do it everything like that, bro, I would have got put off. I would have went and got in the trucking and stuff like that, would have saved my money for 2 years and would have came back at 23, would have been owning a bunch of stuff and then start to live life the way I really want to at 28. But that's a women deal. That's all that is.
Yeah, most definitely. I think getting in the trucking industry is a great way to make real money, man. Cause these truck drivers make good money, man. I mean, from 100 grand and on up, man. You know what I mean? My next question for you is, do you do you think Takeoff the rapper was lined up, and if so, give me the breakdown on that.
I don't believe that, but I believe conspiracy theory people. make a hell of a point, but I think they all have the same structure. So let me do that. It goes back to the Suge Knight situation. You would not trust a person who essentially has a bottle of alcohol and a firearm to aim within a crowd to perform a kill shot because Takeoff got hit twice. You're telling me that you would risk this person doing all of this and not thinking to yourself, man, the wrong person might get killed too, but I'm willing to go ahead and say I'll kill 10 people. I ultimately believe what happened is this. The man Migo Benz, you see the gun in his hand. He walk up, he smack Buddy in the head with the firearm, and the guy shit, DJ Pat shit, up the firearm and start busting, trying to get him. If you look at where Migo Benz's position, Takeoff is right there. I can tell you, as a person who goes to the gun range pretty often, and I got an arsenal of firearms, bruh, somebody to react that quickly, especially when it's a fight. Whenever it's a fight, your adrenaline go. Rarely do people, and I mean highly rarely, do people do a full workout and then go into the gun range. A lot of these people who speaking on this ain't never did no competition shooting, don't know jack squat about firearms and none of that stuff. You even have a way in which you have to squeeze a trigger where you have to do it like this opposed to this. A lot of people pull triggers like this, and that's why they don't hit their target. They kind of yank it if you're right-handed, and then yank it to the other side if you're left-handed. A lot of
Right,
people
because
don't
then you see
understand it.
the recoil of the firearm. You know what I mean? And that's
Exactly.
why it's mandatory to hit up that range to sharpen up them skills, man. You know what I mean? Because you know,
Absolutely.
and I'm not promoting violence or, you know what I mean, to do anything crazy out there, man. But if you're going to make a move like that, you know what I mean, be sure that your skills are sharp enough for you to get the job done and not hit nobody that's innocent. I mean, but I'm
You
not
also got to
promoting
remember,
to move crazy
DJ
like that.
Pat got away with off somebody before. So your arrogance of I did this before is in the back of your mind. One of the worst things you can do if you gamble and stuff like that is hit a jackpot your first time. It's one of the worst things you can do because
Yeah.
now you're gonna believe it's always there for you.
Yo, that's a fact. That's a fact. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not promoting violence. I think everybody should get along. You know what I mean? And you know, smash some biddies together, man, instead of offing each other. You heard? But my next question is for you is yo, what advice would you give to the youth to stay out of trouble and working on achieving a tangible career? Talk to me.
Uh it's kind of difficult, bro. That's a hard one because I could tell you anything in the world, but what you see in front of you is always everything. I can recall, man, when I was a youngin and I went to church and everything like that. When we go back home, Jesus ain't there. We're starving. It's hard out here. When we get all of these people that come through and everything, and they'll tell you, don't do this, don't do that, just say no to this, just say no to that. And then you can't understand mentally you being attacked. The hood sometimes is such a mess up because you don't see success. You'll typically see a store and everything like that, but you won't see a business owned by people of your same pigment. So you'll never get a chance to see outside of your range, outside of your scope, because it's hard to believe it. When you don't see people that look like you, man, how do I make it in that world that is immensely unknown? So sometimes they believe that the hell that you in is better than the one that you don't see, not knowing there's actually not hell out there. The more explorations that you are, the more that you're willing to take a shot at stuff, bruh, it just might work. You just can't give up. So I would tell the youth, hey, I acknowledge what it is that you're going through. I won't even pretend that what you're going through is hard. I think a lot of people come in with a ton of instructions and not enough understanding. Bro, I know what it's like to sit up here and not shower for a couple of days. I know what it's like to go to school with black socks and they started out white. I know what it's like to wear the same drawers for a week, going to school to stink and everything like that. I understand all of that crap. but it doesn't last forever. Eventually, you get old enough to where you take control of your own destiny. A lot of cats and a lot of kids, they fear the ability to raise their hand and say, I don't understand when people are right in front of you that can help. Ergo, a teacher is one of the worst things that we tell kids all the time is to be a kid and be an adult at the same damn time because both of them ain't the same. So it's conflicting a bunch. Either we want kids to be kids or we want them to be adults. And if we want them to be adults, the amount of responsibility that they have, they're not ready for it. So I would tell the youth, I understand more than instruction. And then the instruction would be, man, once you get 18, go get two jobs and get up out the way. Once you got two streams of income, you're not going to worry too much about a bunch of things. Get you somebody that you can trust. Make sure y'all done been through the fire, man. Y'all done been through a range of emotions. Y'all both get two streams of income from 18 to 21. You're going to want to party. You're going to want to do all that, but take advantage of your youth because it is ever fleeing. So do that. Learn how to build your credit. Learn how to do certain things like that. Credit is not more important than money. And you're gonna get told that all the dang time. But the way in which credit is built is off your ability to have money and to pay back money once you get certain loans. I would tell them that, man, what it is that they believe ain't everything. But I'm not gonna tell you don't get it. I would tell you, man, if you were blessed with certain things, you would understand that your spending habits, your eating habits, your sleeping habits sometimes are destroying you. You will sit here and understand that, man, you can work a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday and get a nice weekend job that'll pay for the BS that you want to do. And you can do your BS off of your side gig while making sure you maintain absolute dominance over what it is that you have to automatically pay for.
Yo, that's good information you just gave right now, man. And hopefully the youth will take that information and supplement it into their lifestyle. And shout out to my right hand man, Chaotic Truth. No, the Red Sox do not suck. Don't hate.
Kind of got a point though, man. The Yankees are far
Oh, no, oh,
superior.
yeah. Man, Ceddy, man, chill, man.
So keep it up. I'm just gonna keep it
All right,
authentic, man. I've been rooting
word,
for the
word.
Yankees since like 94, 95. So yeah.
Yeah, man. My next question for you is, what are your thoughts on Troy Ave taking the stand, and do you believe that Mano really possesses chain? And if so, give me the breakdown on that.
I think it's possible that that Mano has his chain and stuff like that and everything. And I put it this way: there's conflicting stories, right? One of them is that your man Tax Stone ran his mouth first. So if he's gonna keep the code, I don't have to keep the code if your man's ran his mouth first and he's trying to set me up. But I also understand from a standpoint of, bro, you took the stand, my guy. That's completely different. You know when you take the stand, ain't nobody coming home. You're gonna get convicted. It wasn't about after that, after they ran up there and took the stand and everything, bruh, yeah. But ultimately, it's like this. They both stupid. Both of them are dumb. Because the way in which they was going at each other, that should have been handled in the street, not in front of a bunch of people. When he says streets is a myth, what you did was not in the streets. It wasn't a business with cameras and all this BS. Did you not understand the layout? If I understand my terrain, I know how to go to war. Then on top of that, bro, you further escalated that too. You and your people over there looking weird, eyeing everything, and then from what it said, he approached them. So you started some mess, somebody else react, and then you still take the stand. Both of y'all wrong. So, in all honesty, yeah, he a rat. And if what Tax Stone did, he a rat too. Because just because you snitch on me, don't mean, hey, bro, I'm supposed to snitch on you. All I gotta do is clear my name. I don't have to give him anything. My lawyer can do all that crap. Just being fair.
Yeah. Now some are saying that if Troy didn't take the stand, that Tax Stone would have been able to come home, and that Troy would have been the one convicted during the time. Now, what are your thoughts on that?
They were giving Troy like 15 years and stuff like that, where
Yeah,
Troy could have just had his lawyer break down the footage. The footage essentially would have screwed him over, but he was already screwed over. You already did like a year in jail. So you already got your time served and everything like that. It's just one of those things where I don't agree with it, but I get it. You know what I'm saying? If what Troy have the truth tellers say is real. So yeah, I mean, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I feel you on that. You know what I mean, and it's a tragedy what happened, what took place that night. I think both men, Troy and Taxstone, are brilliant brothers. It's just that they just had a disagreement that went out of hand, and I wish that they both could have sat down and hashed it out, and create businesses to hire more people that look like us. You know what I mean? But
I
it's
think
not
I
a
think
perfect
I
world, so
think we don't
things
have to
do
get
happen.
along. We just don't gotta whack each other. Like you ain't gotta. I ain't gotta do nothing to you. You ain't gotta do nothing to me. We can dislike each other and everything like that, man. Gucci Man and Jeezy was hanging out in clubs, not cool together, but in the same venue, the same spots. After all of that BS happened, because ultimately your peace and your freedom is what you need more than dang near anything, with the inclusion of health, of course. But man, it's just stupid. Like they too grown. Like you too grown to be in the BS, too grown to be in the drama, too grown to want to be a thug, bruh. After 25, honestly, you could be a member, but walking around you in a place like New York and you strapped and everything like that, bruh, you already asking for it anyways. I would never, with no disrespect when I say this, I would never live in any of these states where I can't legally possess. I'm from California, born and raised. You get what I'm saying? I would never want to live in these states where yourself got to sit up here and go, man, yeah, I can't protect myself if need be. You get what I mean? I'm not educated on certain things. I know what I can do. I know what I can't do. Let me go ahead and make a bunch of money and live illegal. Brett, tax. Why did you want to do a podcast knowing good and damn well you're going to run around and be a moron? You know what I'm saying? Casanova, why do you want to be a rapper and then put yourself in constant danger? Are you out your mind or are you slow? Ultimately, it falls on both of them because either or could have been avoided. And one of them should have had the thought to say, nah, man, I ain't worried about that dude, man. Let him say whatever. Because all they were gonna do is just go on the internet and trash talk. Bro, so what? When you got fans, you got people who are fanatics. I used to rock with Troy Ave. Like, man, with the song, he was like, I know she like my style, she like my flow, and you know what I'm saying, because I'm from New
Yeah, I
York
like that
and
record
all
too.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? I was knocking that, bro. That was like constant rotation in my car. I'm like, oh, New York is back. Yeah, man. This what they need right here. Threw it all out the window.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, brilliant brother. Just made some poor decisions in life. You know what I mean? Now my next question for you is right. I see you got a few mixtapes circling in the web. Now, man, I know you got them bars on deck. You're now. The follow up question to that is like, yo, like, what led you to get into the gang culture? Because there's a particular set that you represent, and the reason why I'm like kind of like indirectly saying it because I'm a non-affiliate and I respect all of the gang culture, man. You know what I mean? So I know what time it is, you know what I mean? And I just want to get your perspective on what led you to that kind of lifestyle as a youngin. Because I know you're a successful brother now, and you're doing, you know what I mean? You're doing a lot of good things for your neighborhood and stuff like that. Because I know you give away a lot of money. Now, yo, before I get into that, you know what I mean? I want you to give us the breakdown on that. You're
Which one? That was two questions. Which one you want?
I want the one that led you what led you to get into the gang culture.
That's simple, bro. I wanted to be a somebody amongst a bunch of nobodies. In all candor, I I thought I could achieve things that I achieved by doing illicit activities because I seen what violence could enhance about you. And I understood that as a youth when I'm looking at certain people and everything like that. Like the place I grew up, bruh, you know, we had we had certain bandana and stuff like that. Then slowly over time, it switched to another one, and then I end up leaving, that place and going to the Mecca and doing exactly what I needed to do. I just wanted to be bigger than everything. I wanted to put my name out there. I wanted my name to ring with the Tookies and the Raymond Washingtons and the little fees and everything like that. That's what I wanted. I really wanted that. I really sought that, and I really dang near achieved that. But at a later date, not taking penitentiary chances and stuff like that. Like I managed to get out the streets without an F on my report card because I was always on probation. I was always doing some fighting. But for me, it always went up another notch. For some reason, every time I fight, the police got to get involved, that kind of stuff. So 15 years old, I catch assault with a deadly weapon and 3 counts of assault. I ended up getting booted out of the system. And I mean, not the system, but out of the school districts and stuff like that, to the point where my PO is coming back and basically urine testing me at the school. This is the school that all the kids who get out of juvie basically come to and learn. So now, bro, we in war zone, and we in the enemy's hood. So now it's turned up twice because once I started getting a little bit taller, started getting bigger, I started getting built like a grown man. Age 16, I was already cut up. I was already built. You know what I'm saying? All of this crap and everything like that. But what led me to it is just honestly, I just seen the stardom. I knew what the stardom could do. I seen the men who were doing certain things, and the women was there, and the money was there, the cars was there, the popularity was there. They were gregarious than a mug. Like everybody wanted to be around them. And I'm looking at all this and like, and then I was even told, shoot, at like 6 years old, don't hit the trees. Man, look at this person right here and everything like that. Man, how much you think this cost and this cost and this cost? Yeah, I sold that to them all. I made all the money. That was the thing that stopped me from hitting the trees. I don't indulge in any of that. You get what I mean? Because I was looking at the business opportunity. I got taught entrepreneurship young, but I also understood, bro, this lifestyle that you in, man, it's gonna lead to a couple of things. Either you're gonna get buried alive, or you're gonna get buried in the dirt. And the type of person that I am, I'm about to sit it down for the rest of my life. And once I started seeing certain things and certain betrayals and stuff like that, not from people that we warn with, from people that we call our bros and stuff like that, where it's starting to get real weird. The next thing you know, I'm one of the ones, my name is always somewhere. I'm always somebody. I got a distinct look. Like I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't walk like everybody else. I walk in with a aura. When I walk in places, people kind of look at me and everything like that. And then that's one of the things that I had to start noticing is like, you the problem. You brought all this. Nobody forced you to do anything. You brought this on yourself. And ultimately, that's just what it is. But I joined in to be somebody amongst a bunch of nobodies. I just wanted the popularity and the fame. And I achieved that at a very young age, super young age.
Word up. Thank you a lot for sharing that testimony with us, man. And uh, any words of advice to the youth that's involved in gang culture? Like, what advice would you give them?
If you're doing it, know what come with it. You're going to get told on. You're going to get told on. You're going to be put in situations where you didn't even cause it. You're going to experience pain on such a level that it's going to mess with you mentally. It's going to be hard to sleep, and nobody going to want to hear you talk. You essentially are a bot in this culture. Now, there's a way in which you can use it to your advantage. That part is very true. Hell, I did. But at the same time, it comes at great cost. When you realize, man, there are people, thousands and thousands and thousands of people within your own city that ain't indulging none of this. They don't have to go certain places and look out for you, have to worry about the color and everything like that. Man, when you press somebody and you like, what this mean, what that mean, and they say it don't mean nothing, and you let them get a pass, that's about as active as it get. Then your freedoms, the abilities that you will have, it's crazy. The abilities that you don't have if you end up going to the penitentiary and catching a felony. There are people that will make decisions and have already made decisions about you that you don't know that will affect you in a certain time where you'll need them to judge you the most, and they will judge you harshly. So understand, bro, it's going to come with a lot. Understand your laws. Bro, if you do certain crimes and everything, it's going to come with 5 years. 3 years and stuff like that. They're not gonna write you from the penitentiary. They're not gonna send the money. All they're gonna do is yell your name a bunch of times in a song and everything like that. That's all you're going to get because people are too busy living life. There is one day followed by another day, followed by another day, and the cycle continues. What ends up ultimately happening is you are forgotten. I have a family member who whacked somebody from the other side, from the whole entire other side. One of the best ones to ever do it. But this new generation, they don't know him and they don't owe him. So if he was even to come out and everything like that and decide to himself, bro, I deserve this, I deserve that, you're not getting anything. The streets don't love you. The hoods don't love you. Your bros love you, the bit of individuals that you could rock with. But ultimately, if they really loved you, you wouldn't be in this position. And I'm a person who comes from the Mecca, from the beginning of the beginning, from one of the most infamous places that you could even be from. But at that same time, I understood my fate. If you're willing to understand that part and accept it, all right, shout out, do your thing, man. We'll see you in hell. But other than that, if you're thinking to yourself, man, I really don't want to do this, man, get yourself up out of there. But I'll tell them just like that, right? I understand there's big decision making, and ultimately the choice is yours.
Word up. I think that's a serious gem that you just dropped on the youth right now. Now my next question for you is, yo, what are your thoughts on the dating culture, and what are your thoughts on the females that seeking males that makes um over 6 figures and now? Talk to me.
You talking about the 6 for 6, 6 feet tall, six pack, and 6 figures. I got you on that one. Ultimately, I put it this way. Some women might get mad, some women might understand it. 80% of women want 20% of the men. And if we get even deeper, really, 90% of the women really want 17% of the men. So when we sit back and we understand that the numbers don't work, they want a man that's over 6 feet tall. The average American man is 5'7". The average American woman is 5'5". It gets weird to me when I hear a woman say, I'm 6'3", so I really don't have that problem. But it's one of those things where I go, man, are y'all serious right now? Is this what you're doing? They're willing to say, some of these ladies be like 5'5", 5'3". I need a man 6 feet tall because the false premise of if he's tall, he can protect me further and better. Now, the ones who want the 6 feet and all that stuff and everything like that, I would ask you, I mean, not the 6 feet, but the 6 figures, are you who that man want? So a lot of people can want a bunch of things in particular. A lot of ladies, yeah, all right, cool. You can want a man who makes 6 figures, but does he want you? What is it that you possess that will make this man say, hey, you know what? I'm willing to risk and bet my opportunities, and I'm willing to risk and bet certain securities that I have for myself, all for you. And when they look at it and stuff like that, they got to realize some of y'all, majority, there's a lot of y'all that come with a child. And I'm not bashing anybody for this, but I want you to understand there's no benefit, none, zero, to a man raising another child that isn't his. You're not going to have his last name. He's only building another man's legacy. Whenever I've heard any of these LeBron James and all this stuff and everything like that, they represent for their mama. Cool. All right. But LeBron James slept on his coach's couch. He was sheltered. He was taken care of. A lot of coaches are father figures. They don't get any of that stuff. So it's certain things like that where women have to ultimately value their possession a lot better. And I get it. Everybody want to come up with I made a mistake. I was young and all that. True. But why didn't you go out there and commit crimes of mass murder? And they say, I was young. You understood way young that, hey, bro, if I went ahead and I took somebody's life, there's a whole consequence. The thing is that this freedom and libation that y'all believe y'all have, y'all ultimately don't. The dating culture right now is all about internet and internet and internet and internet and internet. On my other channel, American Alpha Male, I break down how to run game on a bad one that someone like, you know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things where it's status. Women typically seek men of higher status because of the provisions of which he brings. But ultimately, it boils back down to what are you bringing? A lot of women believe that, oh, if I get this person, that person, or my degree matters. The degree actually doesn't matter. Sorry, for the most educated stuff like that, you are still losing to your counterparts by 4,000. You can have all of that crap. But the problem is a lot of y'all get useless degrees and flood the market of a space and of a place where it's like you don't make a lot of money because there's a lot of you. If you look at the nursing field and everything like that, it's 89% women as far as the whole entire country go. Because there'll be some people say, well, in my place right here, I don't care about your one little spot. We are talking the whole spectrum, the whole entire United States. I ain't talking about China and all that. I'm talking about the United States as a whole, because there are labor statistics. That's where I'm getting all this stuff. Black infographics. That's where I'm getting all this stuff. Typically, 67% of men don't even have children. Black men typically don't have a child. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those things. And typically, the men who do have children
That's a
are the
fact,
same
though.
ones.
And like most people don't believe that 60% of within our community, 60% of the men don't have kids,
67.
and that solidify your I'm going to say theory, but even though I believe it's a fact that the 80-20 rule is a real thing, man. So that shows you that the natural selects within our community is smashing all the females. Know what I mean?
But it's one of those things as to a why not. You see what I'm saying? It's like a why not? Why wouldn't a woman want a man who's financially secure? It makes all the sense in the world. A lot of people we will kind of chastise women for this stuff, but there's a reason for it. It's all protection. Even though we saying, baby, you got to be something else completely in order to get that man. I ain't gonna behoove you from doing it. I'm just telling you, it really don't happen. When they say certain things like, "Oh, this man and that man is messing with this woman and everything like that," yeah, but the men that y'all want, no, they're not, because they have a cost risk analysis. They understand it's going to cost this much and everything like that. Are there some women who can get with a man that has six figures that have kids and stuff like that? Yeah, they're always an exception to the rule. But as a whole, the standard typically isn't, because you don't want to deal. It's hard. Like, it's hard being a stepfather. You fall in love with these children. These essentially are your kids, and you have zero rights. Imagine you just taking care and passing up
Hold
something.
on. Let me interject, Ceddy, yo. Sometimes when you in that kind of position, right? Like, you have full responsibility with no type of authority within the crib with those kids, man. And that's why, I'm a big believer on staying sucker free, man. Cause staying sucker free is my campaign, man. You shouldn't raise another man's child, man. I don't believe in doing that, man. You know what I'm saying?
But there's one thing to be said too. Man, you can pre-select, you can get a dope child too. Like, it's like a nice used car, and I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's just one of those things where sometimes, hey, that woman popping like that, you ain't gonna have a problem. Then you get around that kid and stuff. Those who didn't have father figures and stuff like that, we kind of look at those kids and we go, man, dang, bro, dang. If they just had this and had that. Because, man, if you walked up and you was talking to a woman, she had like a 9-year-old that was big as hell, and he got on a little sports attire and all that stuff, it's kind of hard for you to be like, yeah, I ain't messing with that. She bad, and she got a little 9-year-old that play basketball, and you might be like, man, I was that man on the court and everything like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of cats ain't gonna have no problem with that, because that kid just came pre-selected. Just gonna keep it authentic with you personally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there is a plethora of dudes that'll take that route, and raise another man's child, depending on how bad the chick is, quote unquote. Which, what I mean is, by if she's aesthetically pleasing to a high level, yeah, there's gonna be some simps that's gonna wife that up and take care of the kid too. Know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's a
it's
fact. Yeah.
essentially the Bugatti with 200,000 miles on it. That's all it is. Still got the Bugatti. But in all honesty, it's just one of those things where, like, I'll date a woman with kids. You know what I'm saying? I make six figures. I ain't not made six figures in the last 5 years. You get what I mean? For me personally, but it just depends on the woman. First off, you're gonna leave your state. You're gonna come up over here. You're on my program. You get what I'm saying? Now, ultimately, hey, bruh, and I'll make sure the woman know how involved is the father. If the father is actively involved in stuff like that, ship little Johnny ass across the states for the summertime. You get what I'm saying? That type of stuff. So, it's one of those things where I understand that part. But if you got to act the father, you kind of really ain't raising little Timmy over there. His father is actually doing that stuff and everything like that. And y'all ultimately could get on the top of a court. But I would tell any man who doesn't have kids, don't go get no woman who has kids. Don't sign up for that. Nah, avoid that, bro. Do not, because nobody really is one of those investments. Like millionaires don't do that. And if they do, the woman is typically older. Her kids is already out the door. You're not leaving them kids nothing. I don't care what anybody's saying. But I get what you're saying because ultimately we got to practice sexual responsibility. Like how people are either Trump should be in jail, Trump should not be in jail, and everything like that. That's cool. But to me, I look at it from the start, the launch pin. The launch pin is if that man would have been sexually responsible, he wouldn't be in any of this mess, regardless of how anybody feel. If you
But yo,
never,
that's crazy you say that because a lot of times within our community, the female always seek out the dude that's not gonna hold it down. Like, yo, what are your thoughts on that?
it's the ostentatious, it's the peacock effect. Essentially, for some women, honestly, it's reversed for them. If you see a dope dad and everything like that, like I walk with my son and everything, my son nice, he cut up, everything like that, he tall, all these things and everything like that. My son, listen, I'm in command of my child. I dominate, you know what I'm saying? That type of thing. I'm carrying everything. They will literally look at that and go, oh man, he's protecting what he loves. They look at that and they look at those affections. But, you know,
Yeah, that's a fact though, man. Um, my next question for you is, do you ever think Jay Diggs will ever get a chance to shoot the fade with Whack 100? And if so, give me the breakdown on that.
the problem with that is Jay Diggs is from the Bay. Jay Diggs is from 5 to sometimes 6 hours north of there. Wack ain't going to the Bay Area. You be stupid as hell. You got nothing to prove. And especially if you go through where certain places and spaces and stuff is that you have no idea about. I don't care who you know. The Bay go protect their own. They just will. He from Pacoima. He ain't from LA. He ain't from none of that stuff. He ain't from Compton. You ain't from Watts. You ain't from Inglewood. You ain't from none of that. It seemed like, he a Compton dude. He ain't. So ultimately, do I think Jay Diggs can get the best of Wack? Absolutely. I think Wack don't understand, bro. Your prime left you a while ago. You could talk about you busting down and doing push-ups and all that. That's cool. But where's your agility test at? Where are the times that you running, where you working on your hands, where you doing this? Where's your neck movement, bro? How strong is that neck? Does that neck got muscles like this? I don't know. I don't think so. So ultimately, bro, it ain't about your ability to hit. It's your ability not to get hit. It's your ability to duck, dodge, to see it and everything like that. When I seen that man swab and everything, he had a cool little stance. You're going to hit people back. You're going to keep them hands up and all that stuff. All right, cool. So now if I go against you, I know exactly what you're going to do. You're going to keep them hands up. All I'm going to do is try to real quick high-low you, high-low you, high-low you the whole entire time so I can step in. But at that same time, running that mouth is going to get you caught up, bro. That's just what it is. Jay Diggs catch up with Wack. My money is on Jay Diggs. Wack just went at it with Mano. Bro, Mano ain't no choke. Mano can reach
Yeah,
out to
he's
people.
he's been getting into it with a lot of people, and no disrespect to Whack 100, but like he is kind of bumping heads with a few heads in the, I mean, in the industry.
Yeah. But attention is ever fleeing. So to capture and keep it is damn near a skill. Like Wack is a whole algorithm. Wack is the person that people, want to discuss. Some people like what he talk about. Some people don't like what he talk about. I'm one of those. I disagree with damn near everything Wack do. But Wack his own man, and Wack got his own consequences, and consequences come directly from your actions. And unfortunately, fortunately, that's what's going to do him in.
Word, and yeah, I definitely agree with you with you on that. Now, I mean, now my next question for you would be, yo, I noticed that you was on No Jumper, and if they ever if they ever offered you a good compensation to host the show, would you do it?
Yeah, ultimately, make a long answer short, but I'll give you my reason. But yeah, I would. And the reason is this: I know AD. AD, my guy. I could call him right now. They quit. They weren't fired. There's a difference when you leave, when you don't leave. I spoke to Adam before AD left. And I'm like, man, Adam, do everything you can to keep them people, man. And man, don't look at you like no business partner, like a homie. Look at you like a brother, man. This how we do it in California. You know, we look at people as brothers. We perform, you know, brotherhood type of bondage type of stuff and everything like that, brother in arms. So, you know, when he feel like he done saved you from a bunch of things, which he has, that came from your own actions, which they did, that's what it is. But ultimately, man, this is business. And AD and T Rail and S Mac and Duno and all them cats, even House Phone, they quit. So ultimately, I look at it like this: why am I going to pass up an opportunity to take care of my family for the long run? You know, everybody gets mixed up in their feelings and everything like that. I'm not one of those. I look at the business side of stuff. I look at stuff like I don't want athletes speaking out on certain things. I don't want my athletes speaking on certain things. I want them funding the fight. People forget money ultimately is what rules. I don't care what anybody says. Money will make you do certain things. Money will make you go to work sick. Money will make you get up at 5 a.m. in the morning before the sun is even up. Money will do these things. Money has the ability to change things because of the provisions. Like if you want to save the rainforest, you buy it. That's how you save the rainforest. You want to save the youth, you put things in order to keep them distracted and keep them busy. Ergo, after school programs, sports, and all this stuff, helping them build up their competency so that their confidence will go up. So I would forgo 6 figures for a bunch of cats who ain't about to even help me get 6 figures on my own platform. Nah, I'm gonna pass on that. And I'm not gonna berate my kids of having that ability to sit up here and do this as well. That's just me. Because now, if you look at it, with no disrespect, and I say this, all they did was take the no jumper style and put a black space on it and a brown spin on it. That's it. It's just the whole entire. Nobody was tripping off for AD doing any type of commentary on what's socially going around. T Real either or any of these cats. They had to be introduced to the world. So for y'all to have the ability to make 7 figures now, why can't I do the same thing? I think it's very stupid. Personally.
Word out. This will be my last question for you, man. Yo, are you a DC or Marvel fan? And if so, who your top five?
I hate the word fan because ultimately I didn't pay for none of this crap. Everything I ever represented for Marvel or DC, I had to pay for. You know that I shy away from that because I remember being in Boston with a Babe Ruth jersey on and the Yankee hat, and people it seemed like we about to swallow. Bro, I ain't never threw a pitch or batted for the Yankees a day in my life, and neither have you. We finna nah, bro. Like nah, I can raise my blood pressure, heart rate up, watching games and stuff like that. But my favorite is DC, and ultimately it boils down to this. I just, in my heart of hearts, I just think it's more believable. I just think DC characters can tend to be a little more believable because of the realism in which they bring. When you see how serious eventually that what's the name that freaking Marvel had to become, then that's when it started getting good. You know, when you're watching stuff which Marvel still hasn't dropped, the only close thing that they had is Endgame. And you know, like I call myself the West Coast Thanos. Don't mean I don't like Marvel. You get what I'm saying? But ultimately, it'd be DC. So if I were to rank them and everything like that, Superman, of course, Batman, sheesh, mm, Bishop. Oh, no, he's from X Men now, so can't bring him in there. That's X Men and stuff like that.
If you want to mix them up, man.
Oh,
If you want
all
to
right.
mix them up, I mean, go ahead, mix them up, man.
If I could do, I mean, if I'll give you my DC list, right? My DC list would be freaking Superman, Batman, um, Dark Side. I'm functioning with Darkseid highly. That's my guy right there, man. Uh, I would like to say the Joker, but that man is just if you like the Joker, something had to be off with you. But there's something off me anyway. So I'll put the Joker in there. And man, who is somebody that I've seen and I function with highly? Metallo. I had to go on Metallo.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
That's a strong five right there, man. You know
You
what I
know what
mean?
Metallo is, right?
Yeah. I'm a
Yeah.
DC fan.
Yeah,
Well,
but it's
I'm more of a Marvel fan, but yeah, I'm hip to the game of the comics, man. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's just I understand like the fear of, mortality and wanting to be, immortal. And essentially that's what he became. But then again, man, I don't know. Like in the '90s, man, Mr. Freeze was so cold with it, bro.
Yo,
You know what I'm saying?
I like his backstory too, man. Like his backstory is kind of relatable. Like, well, I want to say relatable, but you understand his pain. I mean, and
Yeah,
I thought the whole yeah, Mr. Freeze is dope. I like his storyline too.
yeah.
Word up.
It kind of would be. I'd have to put in both of them. It's hard to pick over Metallo and freaking Mr. Freeze, man. But yeah, man, I don't see. Yeah, because then it's like I don't know, always like those different type of people. Like when I gave you Superman, Batman, then Bishop and stuff like that, then I'd have to include obviously Thanos, but then I'd also include like Silver Surfer. You know what I'm saying? Like, you pay that
Yeah,
ultimate
I
sacrifice.
like Silver Surfer too. Like he dope too. Yeah.
Man, he had a hell of a run, bro. Like in the '90s, he had a cult for a minute. Like he really had that. He really had the youth for a hot minute. Because once again, you could understand. It's like if I understand your wanting your ability and stuff like that. And I don't mean Thanos from the comics, because Thanos from the comics was a love sick puppy. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he was
Like,
a simp. Nah, that nigga was a
yeah,
simp. Because he had a thing for the goddess of death, and that was the whole main reason why he bodied half the population of the galaxy, because he had a thing for the goddess of death because he was trying to impress her. And
right.
that was that's a simple attribute right there, man. I'm glad they changed the whole storyline with Infinity War, because like yo, it's more appealing to me
It's
to
more
see
believable.
how Thanos rocked in the films instead of in the comics. Know what I mean,
And
word
that's
up.
what it is. It's more believable. It's believable that I want to save the universe on a grander scale, not just Earth. I want to save Earth too. I want to save the whole entire universe by saying, bro, we running out of a bunch of stuff. It's going to be harsh, but if we do half, ultimately, if we Thanos snap and
Word
half
up.
went away, people would
The
actually
other
be
half would have
stronger.
enough food to eat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Word up. Yeah.
Like we do have enough food to eat because you can still plant it to the ground and we waste a lot more than we actually know about. Like we waste a lot of food. We really do, bro. It's damn near a problem. Like we wouldn't be like, bro, I'm 280. You know what I'm saying? 6'3", 280. I ain't missed a meal in a while. But that's it's one of those things where we take it in abundance and then we don't realize what we have. And even like I don't see, yeah, bro, because like the movie characters were more relatable. I didn't like Bane. You know what I'm saying? But in the movie,
Right. Right.
I like
I
Bane.
don't know. Bane, yo, I like Bane backstory too, though. You know what I mean? But yo, they made him look real good on the last the old Batman film they came out with back in like mid 2000s. You know what I mean?
You like that one?
Yeah, man.
That's too
You
comic
ain't like
booky for me. But
that?
I get it. No,
Yeah, yeah.
I get it. But it was like they just took some skinny white dude and put him in there. When this dude is South American, like he ain't white, bro. He ain't some skater dude. And he had muscle. He wasn't some skinny dude. He just decided to go with that. But if you remember in that cartoon, bro, he actually ended up freaking getting getting sick off of it.
Right,
I think it
right,
was called like a certain venom or whatever the heck it was. That stuff ended up ultimately killed him, and it was a direct correlation to taking steroids. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So
right,
it was
right.
one of those things where it's like he kind of looked Ultimate Warriorish. You know what I'm
See,
saying?
that's the that's the comic version of it. But obviously in the film, like it wasn't really on it like that. Like Son was just jacked out. You know what I mean? He was
Yeah,
just and
it was.
when he fought Batman in the dark, right? Like, yo, he was like, nigga, I was born in it. You know what I mean? Like, yo, the film was dope. I like that how they portrayed Bane's image, man. I thought it was amazing. You know what I
But
mean?
that's see, it's when they make them more believable. That's what
Right.
ultimately helps out. If you can understand the reason for it, that's why, like, bruh, why Marvel is falling so hard on what they doing because you're starting to get into that Superman phase of hold on, Superman was only really he really couldn't fly. He could really, jump buildings in a single bound type of stuff. Well, he could fly, but he was only really strong enough to pick up a car. The new Superman is strong enough to punch a hole in the earth. So you
Right.
start making this.
Well, you probably got him mixed up with Superboy because Superboy, like he. Okay, I got you. I got you.
Trust me on this one.
Yeah.
Go back to Superman's origin. He was not overpowered like he is now. This is part of the reason why they had to ultimately introduce kryptonite. We had to bring him down to a level where this man can do everything. Couldn't nobody stop him.
Right.
Part of the reason
Right.
why a lot of stuff work is because there's always in every film, there's always the ability for the hero to die. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's
Right.
why Infinity War was so powerful. And then Endgame was even more powerful because at the very end, the way that they beat Thanos was they changed his mindset. They could not beat this man with him being stoic and not ultimately succumbing to his own anger. They had to change him. If you're gonna look at his whole entire fight pattern and stuff like that, he smashing, all of this stuff, and he pissed off and all that. He was so pissed off, he didn't even realize he had the stones at the end. Like, oh,
Right. Right.
shit.
Yeah.
Anger
Yeah.
consumed him, and that was
Mhm.
one of the things that he was talking about in the earlier movie. In the earlier movie was like, bruh, this is what happens if the bad guys win because in the movies, the bad guy is supposed to win.
Yo, to be real with you, I don't look at Thanos as a villain, man. I actually look at him as a real hero. But that's a whole different topic, y'all.
No, I get it. The only problem with that is if you had the ability to take life, you should be able to create double the life. You see what I'm saying? Like
Right, right,
if there's a power that can take life, there's also the power that can ultimately cure and give and understanding and subjugate people to a different type of lifestyle, eventually to where they're accepted and stuff like that. Like how you say Thanos is the hero, and I could agree with that. I can understand your reasoning for it because I was running around saying that for a while too. But I also am one of the people who believe Scar is the hero. You see what I'm saying? Scar is the
right.
hero of Lion King.
Scar, Scar was a grimy nigga though.
Let's do it
And,
this
and,
way.
and let me
I'll
just
explain it
okay.
real
The
quick.
reason why I call Scar like the Scar was his motive was real selfish. He just wanted the kingdom to himself so he could rock. You know what I mean? But Thanos, he wanted to. You know what I mean? Make a better way for a whole, you know what I mean? Every sentient being within the galaxy or whatever, you know what I mean? And
Okay.
it's like, yo, it's that philosophy joint, man. Like, yo, for the greater good. But Scar was just a grimy nigga. He just wanted the kingdom to himself. That's
Okay.
it. You know what
All
I
right, let's
mean?
let's 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 do it this way. Let's do it this way. You have two warring factions. They come together under whose rule? Who ruled it that the hyenas and the lions get peace up under? That'd be Scar, right? Okay. So could the lions and the animals control the elements?
No,
No.
okay, yeah. Now, as far as like the
Hold on, hold on,
hyenas,
hold on, hold on,
okay,
hold
okay,
on, hold
okay,
on. I
okay,
got
okay.
you. Listen, watch this. It's gonna get better. Two warring factions. The worst drought they ever seen. They still came up out of it. Nobody died. The king is obviously supposed to eat first any doggone ways. That's how it always goes. That's why he's the leader. But ultimately, too, He seen recklessness. That kid was running around destroying stuff. Unfortunately, you had to make that sacrifice for the greater good. Then on top of that, did not Simba live a better lifestyle when he was singing Hakuna Matata with no worries and everything like that? Ultimately, it's the power of Coochie that possessed him to come back. Because was living his life. He wasn't killing nobody. He wasn't doing any of that. He was eating bugs. He found out a way to get protein from a different source, from up under a law. So even that is him having the ability to teach the next king, unfortunately, inadvertently, hey, bruh, if another famine comes around here, y'all can eat bugs. We don't have to just depend on meat. Then you had a tyrant in Mufasa. You did. When you see Mufasa come into contact with other lions and stuff like that, what did he always do? Dominate. Benevolent king.
I mean, yeah, I feel your perspective, man. You know what I mean? I guess you open my eyes to something else. You know what I mean? But as
Because he
far
dark
as
skinned, that's what it is. You showing light skin
nah,
tendencies right now. It's far dark skin, so you gotta go with the light bright nigga
nah, man. Oh man, don't throw that at me,
who
man.
smashed all of the lioness in there. Listen, Nala and Simba are brothers and sister. You see what I'm saying? They brother and
Yeah.
sister. And that's how that happened. He didn't sleep with somebody. There was no other male lions except him and Scar. That's it. So you gonna smash your sister, smash your cousin.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yo. Yeah, I guess. But word out. Yo,
Be
man.
prepared. Yeah,
Yo, man. Any last words to the people in the chat? You know what I mean?
Leave a like, comment your thoughts and stuff like that and everything. Ultimately, we had to have the ability to tell our own stories from multiple type of ways and stuff like that. So supporting black content creators is everything. Unfortunately, a lot of stuff is business. And so the business is to ascertain more business to stay in business ultimately. This is a very difficult grind to do. It will take time out of you when you really don't want to do it. It will encourage you, it will discourage you, it will allow you to feel so many emotions. So it is very important that people support black content creators. If you disagree with them, let them know you disagree. Let them know the perspective. Don't attack the person, attack the thought. That's all that is. Hey, bro, I feel you wrong. I feel this. I feel that, and everything like that. All right, cool. But articulate yourself without being disrespectful, because that's ultimately a child's mindset is to be that way. And that's all I would say, man.
Word out. Thank you so much for coming through on my panel or whatever and allow me to interview you. You know what I mean? I appreciate that, brother. Um,
Ultimately,
you know what I mean? Yo, this interview is officially over. Seek wisdom, practice humility, and remain sucker free. You heard? I'm out. One.
understood.